Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain a process for second level English medium students. The title of that process is Gentleman of Rio and Medio. Gentleman of Rio and Medio. Where is this Rio and Medio? Here you can see it is an outline map. Rio and Medio. It is in New Mexico in USA. So, Gentleman of Rio and Medio. That is the title of this prose. Firstly, I will explain the lesson first. Then after that, I will read the textbook. You should open and then again I will explain. It is written by writer John A. Cedillo is the author of this lesson. He was a lawyer, and this is an actual story or actual incident taken place, and it is related to his personal case. I told you that he was a lawyer, and this is related to his personal case. So it is an actual case related to his personal. So in this story, there is an old man lived in Rio and Medio. He belonged to this New Mexico state. He was a farmer, and he was having an orchard. That orchard is comprised of, it is very beautiful, and there were many fruits in that orchard. He sold that land, he sold his land and his house to an American for getting $1,200. He sold his property to the Americans. This man, he wore a pale colored or pale coat, just like Prince Albert suit. Prince Albert suit is double-breasted coat. So I told you that he sold his land after getting $1,200, and it was purchased by Americans. So after a few days, the Americans already stayed in that house, and after a few months he was disturbed by the students and other children, not only students, other children of that surrounding place. They overran or they played always in his land, and it made a disturbance to the Americans. So Americans told that matter to his friend, that author John A. Cedillo. He informed that matter, or he convinced that matter, he wanted to convince that matter to the gentleman. So before that, there was an incident happened. They have already surveyed that land. It was already measured or surveyed. That land was already measured. So after survey, they found that the area was more than what they sold, what they fixed. The area was double than what they fixed. So they understood that matter. They told that matter to the gentleman. They told that we are ready to pay the double amount. We are ready to pay double amount to you because the measurement of that land is double or twice. But the gentleman thought that it is a kind of insult for him, and he told that no, I don't want double amount. You just give only the fixed amount. I won't accept more amount. So he thought it as an insult. So they have already given that fixed amount, $1,200 was already given. The gentleman put that cash on his blouse, and after that he walked away. Then after signing that agreement, the deed was already finished. the sale agreement was already done. So it is only natural that Americans already stayed, they started staying in his house. So after 1 month, what happened is that all the children in the surrounding area came and they were overran in that ground. It made a disturbance for him. He already conveyed this matter, or he already explained, or he already informed that matter to the lawyer, advocate. The lawyer or the author wanted to convey or wanted to convince this matter to the gentleman. He has already sent a messenger to the gentleman and he told to come here to talk about this thing. So lastly, the gentleman came, and in the beginning, the gentleman explained, or he told many things about his family. He was very proud of his family. So there was a meeting. All others were also there. In the beginning, he told about his family. He was very proud of his family. And he told about the rainy season and everything, rainfall, everything he described. But after that, our lawyer or author gradually entered in the subject, and he told that, sir, the children in the surrounding area, they are making disturbance, so you please make some relief, or you just find a solution. At that time, the gentleman told that, no, I have already sold only the land. I did not sell that tree to you, because the tree belongs to other people. So again, that author told that, no, you have already signed, and he has already shown the agreement. Again, the gentleman replied that I was not the owner of that tree. I was only the owner of that land. Moreover, he explained further that whenever a new baby was born in that village, they used to plant some trees. Whenever a new baby was born, a new tree or new sapling was already done in that village. So all the trees which are seen in that area was belonged to some other children or the people living in that area. I am not responsible. Anyway, the author recognized or admired his character. He understood that this man was a peculiar type, and he is loving. He loves nature. He loves the forest and he loves the trees. So he did not say anything. But it took many months to give the price of that tree, or he saw all the descendants of that gentleman, and he has already paid money for each tree, and the agreement was already settled. That is the story. In this story, the author says about the affection or about the loving nature of forest. The gentleman's loving nature is already explained or described by the author. Next, you take your textbook and I will explain. Gentleman of Rio and Medio. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. He was in no hurry. What he had the most of was time. He lived up in Rio and Medio, where his people had been for hundreds of years. He tilled the same land. They had tilled. His house was small and wretched but quaint. The little creek ran through his land. His orchard was gnarled and beautiful. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. It took months of negotiation. That means negotiation, some kind of bargaining. When we are dealing a property, when we are selling a property, at the buyer and seller, they will make some kind of adjustment discussion. Some discussion will be there. Some bargaining will be there. Lastly, they settled. That the gentleman was ready to sell his land by getting $1,200. So negotiation. It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. He was in no hurry. The old man was not in hurry. So lastly, it was already settled. Others were, the buyers were ready to pay $1,200, and gentleman was, or the seller was already ready to pay or accept that amount. So it took months to finish that negotiation or discussion. What he had the most of time, gentleman was very busy always, so he did not get a time to say about the sale and other things. His problem was a time factor. He was always busy. He lived up in Rio and Medio, where these people had been for hundreds of years. This man, I told you that he lived in this place, Rio and Medio, that is in New Mexico. His ancestors were also there. Fathers and forefathers or ancestors were also there. He tilled the same land, they had it tilled. His ancestor has already done cultivation. The same thing this gentleman has also done. His house was small and wretched. It was wretched, some kind of unpleasant, not a pleasant manner. And quaint also. Quaint means old-fashioned but attractive. That his house, the house of this gentleman was quaint or wretched. He tilled the same land. He plowed, P-L-O-U-G-H, plow. He tilled the same land. They had a till. His house was small and wretched but quaint. The little crack ran through his land. Quaint means, that means a small narrow stream is called quaint. No, I mean creek. Creek is called a small narrow stream, creek. He tilled the same land, there he tilled. His house was small and wretched but quaint. The little creek ran through his land, his orchard. Orchard means having so many fruits, having so many fruit trees is called orchard. His orchard was gnarled and beautiful. It was gnarled and the branches, there were many branches and twisted branches of trees were there. That is called gnarled. Twisted branches were there. Twisted branches of trees were there. It is called gnarled. The day of the sale, he came into the office. The day of the sale, he came into the office. The gentleman came into the office at the time of agreement, at the time of that sale. His coat was old, green and faded. It was very old. I thought of Senator Catron. That means Senator Catron means Thomas Benton. Thomas Benton was a Senator Catron. He was elected in the Senate. I thought of Senator Catron, who has been such a power with those people up there in mountains. Perhaps it was one of his old Prince Albert's. He wore Prince Albert's coat, that means double-breasted coat or loose coat is called a Prince Albert's coat. He wore gloves. That gloves, it was also very old. Others could see his fingertip through that gloves. He carried a cane, but it was only the skeleton of a worn-out umbrella. Another thing was the stick which he carried was just like a worn-out umbrella. Skeleton of the worn-out, very old umbrella type. He wore a stick which was like worn-out umbrella. Behind him walked one of his innumerable thin dark young men with eyes like gazelle. He was followed by a young man. His eyes was very beautiful like a gazelle, a deer, an animal, small deer is called a gazelle. A small deer having beautiful eyes is called a gazelle. The old man bowed to all of us in the room. Then he removed his hat and gloves slowly and carefully. Chaplin once did that in a picture in a bank. He was the janitor. Then he handed his things to the boy who stood obediently behind the old man's chair. The old man bowed to all of us in the room. So he came, or he was called He came at that time, he bowed his head to others. Then he removed his hat, he took his hat and the gloves. The old man took his bows and gloves. Chaplin once did, Chaplin, Charlie Chaplin, famous comedian. Just like that comedian, he came and yes, already he put his gloves and gloves. He removed his gloves. Then he handed these things to be who stood obediently behind the old man's chair. So after that, he has already handed over all these things to his kins. There was a great deal of conversation about the rain and his family. Firstly, he came and he talked many things about his family and the rain. That is, for example, if you are visiting your relative's house, sometimes firstly you will say, oh, it is very hot now. It is very difficult to because we can't say how we can tolerate this season. That is only a normal talk. The same way, this old man also. Firstly, he told about the climate and rainfall, about his family, all other things were explained first. He was very good, proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. After that, they began to enter in that business. Yes, he would tell, as he had agreed, for $1,200 in cash, we would buy, and the money was ready. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish language, we have made a discovery. We have made a discovery very important, you should understand, because this question will be asked for coming exam. And that means read the following extract and write the answer given below. So these questions, always they ask this question. We have made a discovery. What we can say, what is the discovery? Don Anselmo. Here Don Anselmo will say what is the meaning of this Don in Spanish language. They are giving respect. In English, we will say sir, S-I-R, sir. In the same way, in Spanish language, they are using this word to give a respect. Don Anselmo, Don. Respect. There was a great deal of conversation about the rain and his family. He was very proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. Yes, he would tell, as he had agreed for $1,200 in cash. We would buy, and the money was ready. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish, we have made a discovery. You remember that we sent that surveyor, that engineer, up there to survey your land so as to make the deed. Well, he finds that you own more than 8 acres. He tells us that your land extends across the river and that you own almost twice as much as you thought. He did not know that. And now Don Anselmo, I added, these Americans are buona gente. They are good people and they are willing to pay you for additional land as well at the same rate per acre. So that instead of $1,200, you will get almost twice as much, and the money is here for you. Again, I am explaining. There was a great deal of conversation about rain and his family. Firstly, he explained about his climate, family, and about his rain, about the climate and the family. He was very proud of his family. He was very proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. Yes, he would sell as he had agreed for $1,200 in cash. So we are ready to give $1,200. But at the same time, this writer says that he said that Don Anselmo, you told that the area is half of the actual land. Really, when we have sent a surveyor, or when the surveyor has already measured that land, he found that the area is twice than you told. Because you will we are ready to pay double amount. We Americans are good people. So we are ready to pay double amount because your land, the area of your land is more than what you expected. There was a great deal of conversation about Rain and his family. He was very proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. Yes, he would sell as he had agreed, for $1,200 in cash, we would buy, and the money was ready. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish, we have made a discovery. You remember that we sent that surveyor, the engineer, up there to survey your land. Surveyor went there and he has already surveyed his land. After that, he found that the area was double than what he expected. He tells us that your land extends across the river and that you own almost twice as much as you thought. He did not know that. And now, Don Anselmo, I added, these Americans are Venu K.Sslc. Venu K.Sslc means good people. Then the other said, Don Anselmo, the Americans are good people, so we are ready to pay double amount than which we fixed. They are good, Venu K.Sslc, they are good people, and they are willing to pay you for the additional land as well at the same rate per acre, so that instead of $1,200, you will get almost twice as much, and the money is here for you. We have already kept it. We have already taken the money. We are ready to pay the amount because the land area, the measurement of that land is more than you expected. The old man hung his head for a moment in thought. Then he stood up and stared at me. Friend, he said, I do not like to have you speak to me in that manner. I kept still and let him have his say. I know these Americans are good people, and that's why I have agreed to sell to them. But I do not care to be insulted. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200, and that is the price. Yes, he replied. This old man replied that what you are saying is correct. Americans are good people. I won't deny, I won't object. Since Americans are good, I decided to sell my property to you. But at the same time, I am not ready to accept that double amount from you because I am thinking it as an insult. So I don't like it. You can give only the actual fixed amount. You give me only the actual fixed amount. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200. That's the price. I will take only $1,200 or $1,200 from you. I don't want any further amount from you. I argued with him, but it was useless. Finally, he signed the deed and took the money, but refused to take more than the amount agreed upon. Then he shook hands all around, put on his ragged gloves, took his stick and walked out with the boy behind him. So what did he do? He took only that amount. After that, he just kept in that gloves. It was very old gloves, I told you. Even others could see his fingertip. Since that gloves was very old, took his stick and walked out with the boy behind him. He was followed by that boy also. He walked out. He did not accept more amount, only that fixed amount he took and he went out. A month later, my friends had moved into Rio and Medio. They had replastered the old house, pruned the trees. Pruned the trees means cut off. To make level, by cutting, to make level, we are cutting that trees. It is called pruned. Pruned the trees, patched the fence and moved in summer. One day they came back to the office to complain. The children of the village were overrunning their property. They came every day and played under the trees, built a little play, fences around them and took blossoms. When they were spoken to, they only laughed and talked back good naturally in Spanish. A month later, my friends had moved into Rio and Medio. They had replastered the old house, pruned the trees, patched the fence and moved in summer. One day they came back to the office to complain. The children of the village were overrunning their property. They came every day and played under the trees, built a little play, fences around them and took blossoms. When they were spoken to, they only laughed and talked back good naturally in Spanish. So after a month, the Americans came and they complained the matter to the author. Their complaint was that the children in the surrounding area came and they overran in their ground. Then they questioned the children, they just laughed, they did not say anything. They replied in some Spanish language. One day they came back to the office to complain. The children of the village were overrunning their property. They came every day and played under the trees. The children used to come every day and they played under the tree. It was a disturbance for the Americans. So they convinced this matter, or they complained this matter to the author. I sent a messenger up to the mountains for Don Anselmo. He took a week to arrange another meeting. When he arrived, he repeated his preliminary performance. He wore the same faded cutaway, carrying same stick, and was accompanied by the boy again. He shook hands all around, sat down with the boy behind his chair and talked about the weather. Finally, I brought that is, he began to talk about the weather and some other things and his family, even though he came to his office to talk about this matter. At that time, the author ended in that subject, in that topic. He brought the subject. That means author raised that topic, raised. Finally, I brought the subject, Don Anselmo, about the ranch. That means large farm is called a ranch. About the ranch, you sold to these people. They are good people and want to be your good neighbors always. When you sold to them, you signed a document, a deed, and in that deed, you agreed to several things. One thing was that they were to have the complete possession of the property. Now, Don Anselmo, it seems that every day the children of the village overrun the orchard and spend most of their time there. We would like to know if you, as most respected man in the village, could not stop them from doing so in order that these people might enjoy their new home more in peace. So the author told that old man came and they talked this matter. The author told that Don Anselmo, even though they started staying, they did not get to peace because on every day the children used to come and they used to play under that tree. It made disturbance. They made sound and they used to play always. When they asked something, the children only replied something in Spanish language. So you are a honorable man, you are most respected person in this locality. So Don Anselmo, you please tell the children not to come again. We would like to know if you, as the most respected man in the village, could not stop them from doing so in order that these people might enjoy their new home more. Don Anselmo, you please tell the children not to come. You saw the newcomers or these people will get a peace at home. You please tell them, you please convince them you are the most respected person in this locality. Don Anselmo stood up. They have all learned to love these Americans, he said, because they are good people and good neighbors. I sold them my property because I knew they were good people, but I did not sell them the trees in the orchard. So Don Anselmo heard this thing and stood up and replied, all the Americans are good people, I know, but I sold them my land only. I did not sell them that trees. It belongs to the children or other people. I am not responsible. It is not possessed by me. That trees are not possessed by me because it belongs to some other children. Don Anselmo stood up. We have all learned to love these Americans, he said, because they are good people and good neighbors. I sold them my property because I knew they were good people. I did not sell them the trees in the orchard. I did not sell the trees in that orchard because I am not the owner of that trees. This was bad, Don Anselmo. I pleaded. When one signs a deed and sells real property, one sells also everything that grows on the land. And those trees, every one of them are on the land and inside the boundaries of what you sold. The writer or lawyer argued or he convinced Don Anselmo. It is not a good habit because you have already signed in that deed. If you sold a property, it means that everything belongs to that buyer. So you should take responsibility. You have already signed in that document or deed, and you have already transferred everything. So you are responsible. Yes, I admit that he said, he added, I am the oldest man in the village. Almost everyone there is my relatives, and all the children of Rio and Medio are my sobrinos. That means sobrinos. That means they are my kids and relatives, can say, children and grandchildren and other things is called sobrinos and nietios. That is Spanish language. My descendants, every time child has been born in Rio and Medio, since I took possession of the house from my mother, I have planted a tree for that child. Whenever a new baby was born, I planted a tree for them. Whenever a new baby was born in this village, in this town, I used to plant a tree for them. The tree in that orchard are not mine, senar. That means senar means give some respect. That is called a senar. Or master, we can say master. They belong to the children of the village. Every person in Rio and Medio born since the railroad came to Santa Fe owns a tree in that orchard. I did not sell the trees because I could not. They are not mine. You see, you should listen what I am saying, because whenever a new baby was born in this village, I used to play or I planted a tree for them. So it belongs to them. I am not the owner of that trees. There was nothing we could do. Legally, we owned the trees, but the old man had been so generous, refusing what amounted to a fortune for him. It took most of the following winter to buy the trees individually from the descendants of Don Anselmo in the valley of Rio and Medio. So the writer understood, even though the writer is having legal right, he did not say anything because he knows the generosity, or he knows the character, good-natured character of that old man. So they met individually they met personally, and after that they gave money for each trees, and they purchased that money from person to person. It took many months to complete that deed. That is the story. So in this story, there is a meaning, or the essence is that this old man loves nature or forest, trees. It is a part of our nature. So it shows that he is a lover of nature, or he is a lover of trees and garden. That is the essence of this story. So I will give you some one word, and after that I will give you some one mark questions. Is very important for the coming exam. First one, a place in Santa Fe country in New York. A place in Santa Fe country in New York. I told you in the beginning. That means Rio and Medio. It is in New Mexico, Santa Fe country. Rio and Medio. Next, a small narrow stream. One word, a small narrow stream. That is called a creek. Creek. I wrote here, creek. A small narrow stream. S-T-R-E-A-M. You can expect these questions in the coming exam. A small narrow stream. Next, a piece of land on which fruit trees are grown. A piece of land on which fruit trees are grown. That means orchard. Orchard. O-R-C-H-A-R-D. Orchard. Orchard. A piece of land there, fruit trees, large number of fruit trees are grown. Orchard. Next, a long double-breasted coat. A long double-breasted coat. Prince Albert. Prince Albert. Next, a silent film comedian. All of you know, I think that's very old comedian. In English film, you can see a silent film comedian, Charles Chaplin. All of you will laugh because Charles Chaplin one of the most important comedian in the world itself. Next one. Spanish title of respect like sir in English. We are using sir to show respect or to give respect. But in Spanish language, they are using the word don, D-O-N, don. Don and Salmo. That is don. That word is to show some respect in Spanish language. Next one. Bune gente. But the meaning, bune gente. You can see that that word in this prose. You Americans are bune gente. Bune gente means good people. Next, unusual and attractive in an old-fashioned manner. Unusual and attractive in an old-fashioned manner. That means quaint. Q-U-A-I-N-T, quaint. Q-U-A-I-N-T, quaint. Next, cutting off some branches of tree to make it grow better. Cutting off branches of tree. It's called the prune, P-R-U-N-E, prune. P-R-U-N-E, prune. So this one word, you should write one word of the following. You can expect some questions in the coming exam. You should be able to write the answer. After a few days only, you will get question answers. You can download it. Next, I am asking some one-mark questions. I am asking. Where did the old man live? Where did the old man live? I told you, I already explained. The old man lived in Rio and Medio. The old man lived in Rio and Medio. Next, with whom did the old man come? With whom did the old man come? The old man came with a young man, and his eyes was very beautiful, just like a gazelle. Next, who was Senator Catron? He was an American politician. Senator Catron was an American politician who has great influence. Next, what is the meaning of the word Buna gente? I told you. Good paper. Next, what work did Don Anselmo do? What was the occupation, or what work did Don Anselmo do? You know? Yes, in the beginning I told that he has cultivated his land. So he was a farmer. How did Don Anselmo feel about his family? That is what I told you. Whenever he is talking something, firstly he will say about his family. He was very proud of his family. So, question, what is the question? How did Don Anselmo feel about his family? He was very proud of his family. That is the answer. What is an orchard? What is an orchard? O-R-C-H-A-R-D, orchard. It is a place where large number of fruit trees are grown. A place where large number of fruit trees are grown is an orchard. Then, how did the storyteller call Don Anselmo for a meeting? That means, I told you that the storyteller wanted to speak about the disturbance of the children. So he wanted to see that old man. How did he do? What did he do to convey this message to the old man? The answer is, he sent a messenger to the old man to come and talk. How long did it take the Americans to buy the trees? How long did it take the Americans to buy the trees? So only they gave money individually, and only by the following winter. It took many months, we can say. It took many months, or you can say by the following winter only they completed their deed. So this is the one-mark questions, and moreover, I have already given you meaning of some words, some difficult words. They will ask questions. Write one word of the following words. So you can expect one mark or 2 marks in this lesson, and moreover, 1 mark question you can expect 1 or 2 questions from this lesson. So all these questions and answers you should complete, you should learn it by heart. So it is ended. so we can finish. Please don't forget to, thank you, please don't forget to subscribe and share.